What's going on, guys? And today in this video I am going to be teaching you how to get the Darkness game running up on your computer and getting it set up for the emulator speedrun category that most likely will be happening thanks to Prisoner and Indextic on the speedrun.com website, which will be in the link in the description. So to get started here, we're just going to go ahead. You're going to go ahead down in the description and you're going to see a link that takes you to a modifier or whatever I link it to. But within that link, you'll download a around 16 gig file. Yes, I know, 16 gigs. I'm sorry. I don't know why the Darkness PS3 game has 16 gigs on that Blu-ray disc. I have no clue why that happened. The game isn't even that fucking big. But yeah, just go ahead and link in the description below and download that. Once you've downloaded that, it'll look like this. The Darkness and Emulator newbie package. Not that RAR. That's not what I want. That's not my file. Give me a second. Let me just grab the correct file. It'll be a zip file. And what you're going to do with this is you are just going to right click and you are going to hit extract to the Darkness and Emulator newbie package. This will create a folder on your desktop. This is the best method for that. So just do that. And depending on your RAM and your CPU and basically your overall computer performance, this will take however long it will take for your current hardware. So I'll be back when this is done and we'll continue with the tutorial. Alright, so we are back and that has finished extracting to wherever you've extracted it to. And by the way, I am the current world record holder as of this time. So go ahead and check that out if you feel free. But let's get into it. You're going to double click onto this folder here. You're going to have two files here. The Darkness game, and you're going to have the emulator here. So let's go into the Darkness folder here. And you're going to go all the way to the bottom and you're going to see this right here. This .rar file. Just go ahead and open that real quick. And then you'll see the contents, basically the game and all of its directories, and basically what, if you had like a jailbroken PS3, you could see this in the file explorer. But what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this and we're going to hit extract here. And then this will take, like I said, depending on your computer's performance. So I'll be back when this is done, and feel free to pause the video. Alright guys, so we are back and that is now completely done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back and we're going to go into the RPCS3 emulator. And then we're going to go down until we find the .exe file here. Just going to double click on it. It's going to tell you user agreements, blah, 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 blah. Just hit accept and continue. Or do not show and continue. Your game will not show up. Just so you know. Your game will not show up for you. You'll have to go up to the open button and locate the desktop or wherever you put it. The newbie package. The Darkness. And then you double click into this plus the Darkness thing. Then hit select folder. And then it will start populating PPU modules, which will take a little while. So let that do its thing and all of its stuff. For some reason, the emulator stops with this game. I have no clue why, but it only stops when you try to close the game. But I'm just gonna go back into it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to go into the configure game patches right here. You'll have absolutely nothing in this folder. Actually, I can just delete it, can I? No, I can't delete it, but what you're going to do here is you're going to hit download latest patches. It's going to download the latest patches and it's going to complete. After that's done, you'll have this darkness thing with a drop down arrow. Click the drop down, then click the drop down again. The one thing that you do want is lower exposure, because this game on the emulator has a high exposure, meaning the game is completely bright and completely just like ruins the experience. So someone came out with a fix. You want to enable this, and then there's an option for extended FOV, just in case you want you like FOV, higher FOV. That isn't necessary. I'm not going to enable because I'm a I don't know. I just don't like extended FOVs in games like this. So after you're done with that, just hit apply down here and hit save. All right. Now that that is done, we are going to right click and go into create custom configuration. Now in here, we are going to want to go over to GPU. Make sure you're on the Vulkan GPU. It is the fastest renderer they have. By the way, the default resolution, you do not want this on 1080p, or the game will look weird. Because this game is a 720p game, and it never really had 1080p capability. It may say that it has 1080p capability right here, but it does not, because the game never had 1080p capability on the PS3. So what you're going to do is you're just going to hit 720p recommended. And after you're done with that, you want to hit reset here, so it resets to 100% default. Make sure this is on a resolution scale threshold of 124 or 1024. After that is done, you can go to anisotropic filter and you can just turn that up if you want to make the game look a little more prettier, because it's an emulator and you can mess with the graphics. Now this is talking to my speedrun friends. I do not know if you would like to keep VSync on or off in the category when you create it. So if you want VSync on, just you can turn that on, but I'm not sure what the rules will be, so I'm going to keep that on. If you turn it off, you have more input response, meaning there's going to be less input delay. It's going to be easier to turn around, aim, shoot, etc. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure strict rendering mode is off. Turn it on if you want to upscale, or if you want to up this resolution, but I don't recommend it. So after that, put the frame limit to whatever you want. Not sure if the speedrun category is going to be 60 or 30. Not too sure, because 60 to 30 does change the game, like, drastically, because you're getting more frames per second and stuff like that. So it's probably going to be a 30 frames per second category. I'm just guessing. Quote me on that, prisoner. But I'm going to keep that at 30. And then what you're going to, if you want 60 frames per second, this is the 60 frame per second part. Go to advanced, and you have to make sure the V-blank frequency is set to 120. Once it's set to 120, you can achieve 60 frames per second. So make sure that is at 120 if you want 60. If not, just leave it at the default, which was 60 hertz. So after you're done with that, we're pretty much ready to rock to play this game. So, oh, one more thing. Make sure that you hit save, or apply and save. Make sure you go up to File before you start playing any games. Hit Install Firmware. And now we're going to navigate to that newbie package again. And we're going to go into Darkness. The Darkness PS3 update. This is the Incompatible. Okay, never mind. We're gonna go find a system update for PS3. Must have a system update installed, or you will encounter several problems. So, yeah, just find the system update. It's pretty small. Latest update will do. That'll take a few seconds, so I'll be back. Actually, no. I'll just stay. So, after that's downloaded, you want to go up to File again, hit Install Firmware, navigate to where you downloaded that system update, double click on it. It's going to install the firmware of your choice. Of course, you can do any firmware update you want. Then hit OK. It's gonna launch the game. No. Now we're gonna get into launching the game here. So I'm gonna do a little cut here, bring it into full screen mode, and give you like a little gaming experience. So I'll be back. See you then. Oh yeah, and also one more thing. We have to set up our game pads. So plug in your controller or Bluetooth with your Xbox controller, your PS3 controller. This works with PS3 controllers out of the box. I'm almost 90% sure. If not, just look up a tutorial on how to get a PS3 controller working. It's pretty easy. But for me, I'm using an Xbox One controller. So we're just going to go ahead and plug that in real quick. Plug it in as in Bluetooth it. I'm not going to show you any of this. I'll be right back. Okay, after your controller is connected, all that good stuff, make sure that you select your appropriate handler. If you're using a DualShock 3 controller, use DualShock, DualShock 4, or DualSense. It works with the new DualSense controller, which is pretty sick. But I'm using X input because X input is an Xbox controller input. So now what you're going to want to do is configure your controller. If it's not already configured, it most likely already is configured. And just make sure your buttons work, as my buttons do work. So configure that to your liking, and then hit save. And yeah. Now we're just gonna go ahead and launch the game. So see you in the darkness. When launching the game, you are going to get this building SC whatever shaders, blah blah blah. Let it do its thing. It might take a while. If it does, just let it do its thing. Don't ever mess with anything. Just let it do its thing. So I'll be back. Okay, we are back, and now we are going to be launching the game. You'll have to, for some reason, black screens here. You'll just have to keep hitting A. Sorry for that ear rape. Yeah, the game will now launch here, so just play it as normal, honestly. It's honestly that easy. If you want to figure out how to get into full screen mode, you just double click. Simple. And this is pretty much it. I'm just gonna multiplayer does not work. Why am I even trying that? Basically just launch the game, and yeah, you're pretty much good. So yeah.
I remember the night of my
I'm gonna skip.
birthday.
I'm gonna do like a little jump cut to
That was the first time
me moving around and stuff, because this is a long intro. Very bad for speedrunning, but you know, I still love it. So okay, guys, we are back into the game here, and we're just gonna go ahead and show you what's what here. this is the emulator for the darkness. So you're gonna want to do some control configurations before you go ahead and do everything. I'm just gonna set everything to what I prefer the game to be at. So copy mine if you want. This is what I use for my speedruns. So if you want to copy what I do, just go ahead and give it a try. But yeah, this is basically what I use. So yeah, as you can see, there's it's a little low, it's still high exposure, but to fix that, we're just going to go into the video quality here, and we're just going to turn down the brightness a little bit. It's not going to fix it completely, but without the patch, your game's going to look like crap. So let's just pretty much stop when we get the guns and stuff, when we start moving around. I'm also going to showcase the 60 frames per second option.
Jesus. Hey, Jackie. Come back here. Are you crazy? You're gonna need these guns.
Thanks, Mikey.
Attaboy, Jackie.
Alright,
You look after those pieces and use them well.
so here we are.
Where the hell are you going?
Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna showcase the 60 frames per second option here. So if you go back in my video and set the settings to what I told you to set it at, you will achieve this option, which you can go ahead and change it mid game. So I'm not gonna show it. Well, I guess I can show it, you know. So we're just gonna go back into the settings here and go into the custom configurations. And we're just going to go to advanced here, and we're going to just bump this up to 120. Hit apply, go to GPU, and make sure this is at 60. Hit save configuration. Go back into the game, and it should be at 60. It would help if I actually got it up. So look at that. There we go. 60 frames per second. You can obviously tell that's 60. So game is definitely better played at 60 frames per second. What the hell was that? Did you see a little box come up? Yeah, this is the darkness running at 60 frames. Looks fucking phenomenal. Sad that Starbreeze and Top Cow and whatever couldn't get this game to run at 60 on the 360 and stuff. Their engine was just too powerful. That's what I think, so yeah. Basically it. But 60 is a bit glitchy because you do need some good hardware, which I got good hardware, but it's not the best graphics card in the world. So 60 may work for you, it may not. If it doesn't, just bump it down to 30. 30 is completely playable. Also, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna turn off VSync real quick and see if that actually does anything. I don't think it does when you're in the game, but let's see. I don't think it did anything. No, it didn't do anything. But yeah, this is basically it. This part right here is the most glitchiest with 60 frames per second, so I'm just gonna. I'd recommend just doing 30. You know, why not? Yeah, just run 30. You have no problems with 30. But yeah, that's basically it. It's basically it. There's really nothing else really to cover. I wanted to make this an in-depth tutorial here, showing you how to get the darkness running on an emulator. Probably the best emulator I've seen so far. So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed this this video and tutorial of how to get the darkness on an emulator, which may make it easier for runners because they don't have to actually get the hardware. the original hardware. Hopefully this is going to be a category. I'm pretty sure they said it's going to be a category. Not 100%, but most likely they said. So yeah, get it, play around with it, see how you like it, and let me know what you think in the comments section below. So
Pretty sure I heard something.
without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Okay, so a quick update. Hopefully you guys didn't click off. Hopefully you watched until the end. But I'm gonna put like a little annotation telling you guys to make sure you watch the end, because I actually just figured out that VSync actually gives you crazy input lag. So if we're gonna do this emulator thing up on the speedrun, I would definitely recommend VSync being off, because it would be almost completely unplayable because there is so much input lag. When I mean so much input lag, there is so much. Just shooting this guy before I ended the other section was so fucking hard. So I'd recommend that. But that's it. Thanks you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.